This is the Caitlin Clark show. This is the Caitlin Clark show coming into TD Garden. There are literally hundreds of fans, and you can see all the way down the street. You can see this going all the way down the street, lads.
OCC! Let's go! Viva!
Caitlin Clark fever definitely upped the excitement.
She's a really good player and a really strong player.
Have you seen her play live?
No.
Once again, Caitlin Clark did it. Not for the home team, but for her. Thousands of fans flocked to the arena. Hours before tip-off, they poured in, chanting her name, holding up homemade signs, and donning fever jerseys. The intensity was playoff level before the game had even begun. Caitlin Clark did not simply appear. She once again dominated the East Coast. And although the audience had come to see history, they nearly saw heartache instead. Let's be clear about this. This was supposed to be a home game for the Connecticut Sun. However, it appears that the fans missed that memo. It was all Caitlin Clark jerseys, fever hoodies, and Iowa tees as soon as the doors opened. With all due respect to the Sun, their own arena was taken over. To watch Caitlin play, people flew in from other states. It's a regular season matchup, not a playoff or finals game. We're talking about a poll like that. As if it were a concert, you had children waiting outside for 3 hours before tip-off. Couples wearing matching number 22 shirts, and families holding signs. Ushers even joked that it was the most enthusiastic crowd they had seen all year. Basketball was no longer the only topic of discussion. It seemed like an occasion. So what's going on? For a single player, why are thousands of people crammed into arenas? Because Clark is more than just a scorer. She is a force. The fever isn't the reason people are coming. They are pursuing her. Stardom like that transforms everything. And it was just another chapter this night. Okay, let's take a moment to discuss the numbers because Caitlin Clark is ruining the WNBA's viewership. 2.1 million people watched her game against Dallas. 2.1, that is a game changer, not just a nice statistic. That is the fourth most watched WNBA game ever on ABC. To be honest, there's a strong possibility that this one also broke that record. WNBA games were fortunate to draw 400,000 viewers on a good night before she arrived. These days, it's prime time whenever she takes the court. You name it. Sold-out crowds, national TV, popular subjects, etc. She's smashing it, not just raising the bar. Here's the thing. 21 of the 24 WNBA games that drew over 1 million viewers this year shared a common feature. The lineup included Clark. She's not only contributing to the league's expansion, the growth is her. Therefore, it is not hyperbole when we discuss her influence. It's not a buzz in the media. The numbers are hard and cold. Every time she laces up, she's creating history. I'm not sure what else will pique your interest in women's basketball if that doesn't. Are you curious about Caitlin Clark's significance to the WNBA? Try 27%. That is the approximate proportion of the league's total revenue that is directly related to her. TV deals, concessions, merchandise, and ticket sales. All of it is being touched by Clark. An entire professional league is being impacted by one rookie. Indianapolis is the only city. Her economic impact has exceeded $36 million. That's crazy. She is still on a rookie contract, still smiling, still showing up every night, and still getting bodied by defenders. Consider that. It's likely that her own league would draw larger crowds than the WNBA if she left and founded one tomorrow. It's not hyperbole. That's the truth. The crazy part comes next. She is unwilling to go. She wants the WNBA to expand. Even though it appears that some league members don't fully appreciate what she's bringing to the table, she still wants the league to win. You have to wonder when the league will begin to defend her the way she defends them. Let's now discuss what actually transpired on the floor. Let's face it, Clark's shooting night wasn't the best. Began slowly and made some contact. 2 threes that would have been made were missed. Her field goal total was 4 for 14. Her fingerprints were all over the place. So if you just look at that stat line, you're missing the point. She controlled the spacing, set the tempo, ran the offense like a surgeon, and provided assists like candy. She located the open teammate when the defense fell apart. She took hits, attracted attention, made the right reads, and never stopped moving. The Sun threw everything at her, including double teams 30 feet from the basket and traps and switches. However, Clark maintained her composure. She maintained her rhythm, even though it was obvious she was still dealing with groin pain. Throughout the entire game, the Fever remained within striking distance. Additionally, Caitlin was subtly outsmarting the defense and improving everyone around her while everyone was waiting to see if she would burst for 30 points. That person is a superstar. Then it took place. She suffered a severe bump on a drive halfway through the third quarter. The entire arena held its breath for a moment as she struck the deck and was grabbed by the side. Is she all right? Is this it? She's been getting knocked around a lot this season, let's face it. Hard screens, late contests, and physical play. While some of it feels excessive, other parts are normal. In reverse, she's receiving star treatment. No protection, no calls. Once more, she was in pain while the officials turned a blind eye. Naturally, she remained indoors. Caitlin is tough. She was obviously not at her best, but perhaps she was too tough for herself. Her motion became rigid. She didn't give up even though her shooting dipped. She refrained from pouting. She continued to play, and that gives you all the information you require about her mentality. However, it also poses a significant query. How much longer can she continue doing this without any real defense? Because she is needed by the league. She is essential to the fans. And the WNBA is in big trouble if she actually dies. This is where things start to get crazy. Clark is in pain. It's obvious that her movements have changed. However, things took a turn for the worse when the fourth quarter arrived. The fever had completely subsided. The audience was uneasy. Then all of a sudden, Clark checks in again. She starts working as soon as the arena blows up. She wasn't lighting it up from deep, but her playmaking was incredible. Aaliyah Boston gets a no-look pass for the bucket. Mitchell then had a quick swing for a wide-open three. All of a sudden, the game is 1 point, and you sense that its momentum had changed. She didn't stop there, though. Clark intervenes, charges, slaps the floor, and yells on the very next defensive possession. The structure erupts. In the last quarter, the Fever outscored the Sun 25-13. Caitlin was the catalyst for their inspired, interconnected basketball games. She only needed to take the lead. She didn't need to score. And she did just that. Do you wish to discuss clutches? Let's discuss something that people don't always understand. Caitlin, there is more to Clark's greatness than points. It goes beyond the gaudy highlights and logo threes. It has to do with presence. She doesn't even need to dominate the box score to control the entire game. For 14, shooting isn't pretty, I know. However, you are aware of how she reads defenses and anticipates passing angles before they arise. How her teammates have faith in her to lead the attack. It's not common. That is unique. And because she is flawless, the audience isn't applauding. She's real, which is why they're cheering. She works hard. She searches for loose balls. She assumes leadership roles. She displays feeling. People relate to that. When you're improving the lives of those around you, you don't need 40 points. LeBron did just that. Magic did just that. Now that's what Clark is doing. Furthermore, how many rookies enter a professional league and immediately become its face? That isn't typical. However, Clark's influence extends beyond the scoreboard, so she makes it seem normal. Every arena she enters exudes energy. This is the real deal. There is an issue with the WNBA. Still a problem, but a good one. They rely on one player too much. Caitlin Clark is essentially the lifeblood of the league. And even though that's fantastic at the moment, it's risky. What if she is late? What if there are numerous injuries? What happens if she simply burns out? Because let's be honest, Clark is the reason behind every major game, national broadcast, and crowded arena. When she performs, the ratings rise. When she doesn't, they crash. It's blatant, not just obvious. Instead of focusing only on her, the league must build around her. Encourage other celebrities. Make the rivalries important to the fans. Even if Clark is benched, give people something to watch. Because there is a genuine risk that the momentum will die with her if she ever leaves. She's carrying the league on her back at the moment. But everything could fall apart if the WNBA can't figure out how to divide that burden. It's not Clark's fault. In the league, that is. And time is running out. Caitlin Clark is more than just a basketball player now. She is a complete cultural sensation. Consider it. How many WNBA players have ever received such a high level of attention? We're talking about sold-out arenas in places where there aren't even any WNBA teams. Her shot is being imitated by young girls wearing her jersey. Families travel for hours to watch her get warmed up. It's more than just popularity. That's real-time legacy. The next generation is being inspired by her. Because of her, young children are enrolling in youth leagues. Players who had never watched the WNBA before Clark's arrival are now showing greater interest in college recruiters. And it doesn't end there. Previously uninterested sponsors are now vying for her business. Nike, Gatorade, and national television commercials. All of this is occurring as a result of Clark opening the floodgates. She made watching women's basketball hip. She added humor to it, still battling injuries and playing more than 30 minutes a night. She manages to do all of this at the age of 23. Not only is that amazing, but it's something that only comes around once in a generation. How's Caitlin Clark feeling was the first question that everyone wanted to know after the final buzzer. No one really knows yet, was the regrettable response. Coach Stephanie White responded in her typical evasive manner. In her groin, she sensed something. We'll have it assessed. That's all. No genuine update, no emotion, and no sense of urgency. Simply shrug your shoulders, as if we were discussing a rolled ankle during a preseason scrimmage. Do you mean me? You don't even know which side of her body is injured when your franchise player, your generational talent, hobbles off the court after being thrashed throughout the game. How come you don't know more? Or at least pretend that it matters? It's puzzling. The question regarding the physicality Clark deals with was then raised. White provides the same neutral deflecting line once more. I haven't witnessed this level of physicality in years. Okay, but what are you doing about it? The fire is where? Where is the responsibility? Don't be shocked when the referees continue to overlook clear fouls if you're not going to publicly defend your star. Clark's coach appears to be more of a spectator than a leader, and she gets thrashed every night. Let's not pretend that the team's hard-fought victory justifies this bullshit. Once more, Natasha Howard saved them. Despite her difficulties, Sophie Cunningham showed heart, but Stephanie White continues to rely on her. We haven't had a full practice with the roster. It's July. Work it out. Next up is New York, another team that is physically present, another challenging setting. Furthermore, it appears that this team works that way, which is why Clark's status is still unknown. Hopefully, they will begin safeguarding their star before it's too late. This entire league is being carried by Caitlin Clark. She's attracting audiences hours before tip-off, shattering viewership records, and providing us with moments we won't soon forget. She continues to be knocked around without any calls, and she is still not protected. Furthermore, her coach is unable to provide us with a direct response regarding her injury. Here's my query then. How long can we ignore this? Press the like button immediately if you're tired of the silence and of seeing her treated disrespectfully. If you're riding with Caitlin all the way, hit subscribe. And let me know in the comments how the league ought to handle her going forward. What more should the WNBA do? Do we need to hold the coaches responsible? Or are we witnessing the real-time deterioration of the biggest female basketball star?